All right, welcome back to another fun-filled show. Today's title is Propaganda Should Be Illegal. And it mainly should be illegal because most people are either too stupid or they don't have enough character. Either way, you'll get the same results. Um, it's almost like taking candy from a baby for these folks to be able to put this stuff out here like this. It has destroyed society. Propaganda. Um, there's a video I want to play real quick about this guy explaining propaganda. I want you to listen to what he says. Hold on one second. Let me. I want you to listen to him. Just listen to him. Okay.
Propaganda is ubiquitous and everyone uses propaganda. It's a kind of communication that makes a case for a goal bypassing reason. So what it does is it's a method to urge you to mobilize towards something while concealing from you things that you reasonably should consider. We have these irrational biases, and what propaganda does is it takes notions like freedom, integrity, and it weds them to these irrational biases. Operation Iraqi Freedom is what the Iraq War was called. Why was killing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Iraqis called Operation Iraqi Freedom? Because the idea was somehow freedom is what Americans do. If we're doing it, it must be freedom. The word propaganda by itself is neither good nor bad, because we talk of abolitionist propaganda. We talk about the propaganda that people use in social movements. Social movements need propaganda. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about the need for propaganda because you need to get people to reconsider their racist assumptions.
Definition of propaganda. This smoothie is protein, bananas, oat milk, vegan protein powder, and organic peanut butter, organic bananas, everything organic. Definition of propaganda. Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. So, let me see. Let's go to Merriam-Webster's definition. Propaganda. The spreading of ideas, information, or rumor for the purpose of helping or injuring an institution, a cause, or a person. Ideas, facts, or allegations spread deliberately to further one's cause or to damage an opposing cause. Encyclopedia Britannica says that propaganda, dissemination of information, facts, arguments, rumors, half-truths, or lies to influence public opinion. It is often conveyed through mass media. Propaganda is the more or less systematic effort to manipulate other people's beliefs, attitudes, or actions by means of symbols, words, gestures, banners, monuments, music, clothing, insignia, hairstyles, designs on coins and postage stamps, and so forth. Deliberateness and a relatively heavy emphasis on manipulation distinguish propaganda from casual conversation or the free and easy exchange of ideas. Propagandists have a specified goal or set of goals. To achieve these, they deliberately select facts, arguments, and display symbols and present them in ways they think will have the most effect. To maximize effect, they may omit or distort pertinent facts or simply lie, and they may try to divert the attention of the reactors, the people they are trying to sway, from everything but their own propaganda. So the guy in the video says that propaganda is neither good nor bad. But I read you several definitions, and they all mention not telling the truth. So, for example, if I tell you that the media is lying, and I prove to you the media is lying, how is that propaganda? If I say the media is being dishonest, and I prove the media is being dishonest, how is that propaganda? That's not propaganda. That's just me telling you the truth. So, for example, if a detective, finds clues in the case and solves the case, and he tells the people what happened, that's not propaganda. So clearly, there's a difference between propaganda and telling the truth, because propaganda has an intention. What is the intention? The intention of propaganda is to do what? Is to we had a good one. Hold on. Let me go back to this one. Why is it not letting me go back? Anyway, propaganda, it won't let me go back for some reason. Here we go. The first definition was information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. So, propaganda is not just neutral. It's not. It's created to change someone's beliefs. But the assumption is that the person's beliefs are wrong. The assumption is that the person's biases are wrong. That's an assumption. So my question is, who's determining what thought is wrong and what thought is good? If I don't believe that America's racist, right? So I had a discussion last night. If I don't believe that America's racist, then how are you to say my thought is wrong? And this is what they do. They want to force ideas on you. But how are you going to say that my thought is wrong, though? If I don't believe that America's racist, then let me have at it. It's no different than me believing that, Christ is God in the flesh. It's my belief. So when it comes to propaganda, it really depends on who's controlling it. And so if you're telling me it's neutral, that's a lie, because the media is not neutral. The media is liberal, left, and communist. So there's no way we can say that propaganda is neutral. It's impossible for, I'm going to say this, bold statement. It's almost impossible for the right to administer propaganda. Why? because they're responding to lies already. So the propaganda machine's already rolling. When conservatives get confronted with something, that machine has already created something. So they have to fight against what the machine said. That's why the conservatives are always on defense. It's because the propaganda is already in motion and it's all controlled by the media. So again, propaganda can't be neutral if it's controlled by one side of a political spectrum. If it's left and right and one side controls it, then it's not neutral. It is going to be good or bad. Everybody says two wings of the same bird, but only one wing is flapping. How's it two wings of the same bird when one side of the bird controls everything? One side of the bird controls everything. Media, corporate America, everything. How is it two wings of the same bird when one side doesn't have the same power? Let's continue.
If you're doing a social movement that's trying to change people's attitudes towards, for example, gay marriage, you're going to have to use art. You're going to have to appeal to people's emotions to sort of undermine the biases they have. And what other way do we have to undermine the biases they have? By challenging those biases in often non-rational ways. You know, the goal in propaganda is to connect neutral words to other stuff. Propaganda will always be here. Our words always have these associations. Any word I have. When I talk about my cat, you get a warm, fuzzy feeling. The propaganda campaign involves connecting our words to these things. It's inevitable that people have these associations between words and images. Democracy involves having many such associations, having lots of different words and lots of different discussions that are happening. So we can kind of pick and choose among them.
What comes after propaganda? What comes after propaganda? Force. It's not just they feed you propaganda, they feed you propaganda and they're coming with force. So when we talk about, in the guy in this video, he's trying to make propaganda seem like King Cole said war. Exactly. That's usually what follows propaganda. Something physical happening that's going to be against people's will. Because everybody is not susceptible to propaganda at the same rate. So my question is, should propaganda be illegal? My statement is this. If the media was 50% liberal and 50% conservative, none of this stuff would work. If the media was 40% conservative, none of this stuff would work. If the media was 30% conservative, none of this stuff would work. Look how extreme they have to go for this stuff to work. This is what makes propaganda not neutral. Because you have to saturate a market to do it. You can't just say, okay, I'm gonna let y'all have 50% and we have 50%. No, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna say we want 99% of the media. So now you got conservatives don't even have a chance to do propaganda. You don't have to do propaganda when you exposing Kamala. You can play a whole Kamala Harris interview, everything she said with no edits, and still get the same point across. You don't have to do propaganda when you're using the truth. You don't need it. Because the truth is what convicts. The lies entertain, but the truth convicts. So propaganda should be illegal because most people are either too stupid or they have too low character. They don't have a backbone. They have any principles. So now you got these people controlling the educational system, controlling media, controlling entertainment, controlling the medical industry, controlling corporate America. These people control. If you go anywhere into any establishment, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be something woke in there. I want to look up where they said that's what it's called, the Smith-Mundt Act. I didn't look into it with Obama, but that's what everybody's telling me. I want to look into it because I will say this. The propaganda has skyrocketed the last 8 years. The propaganda has, the last 8 years, the propaganda has been, I'm going to say this, right? We can talk about communist propaganda back in the day, but nothing compares to propaganda now because these people put propaganda literally everywhere. The guy just said in your cereal is propaganda. The toys are propaganda. The books are propaganda. The commercials are propaganda. The medicine's propaganda. Like every aspect of your life is propaganda. And propaganda should be illegal because most people have been dumbed down by this system. That's why it should be illegal. The average person, think about it. I woke up 4 years ago. That means 90% of my life, I was just stuck with propaganda. And I'm one of the blessed ones. But just think about that. I've only been doing this for 4 years. So that means prior to these 4 years, I was in the wilderness. So again, it's like taking candy from a baby. The only thing that woke me up out of my stupor was the Holy Spirit. It's God. I can't say that's it. Now, somebody asked a question, what's our qualifier for truth? Conservative truth, liberal truth, your truth. There's only one truth. So my question is, what is a conservative truth? What is a liberal truth? What is my truth? What is your truth? What is a conservative truth? So at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. It's the truth. So again, you can play an entire interview of Kamala Harris. You can play it and you can dissect it. Is that propaganda? No. What's propaganda is taking something that Kamala Harris says and then presenting it out of context. That's propaganda. Like how they do Trump. That's propaganda. But me exposing somebody is not propaganda. And we know it's not because propaganda is allowed on YouTube, but not truth. Well, a certain level of truth isn't. There's no limit to the propaganda you can put on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. There's no limit to it. But there's a limit to the truth. This is what I mean. Truth is more powerful than propaganda. Let me continue.
There's like two views standing off each other. When one group thinks that the conservatives are all fascists and the other group thinks the liberals are all communists, well, then democracy starts to disappear.
Fascists. Fascism, a populist political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of a fascisti, that exalts nation and often race above the individual. that is associated with a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of opposition. My question to you all is that the conservative movement? Is that so when the liberals say fascism, are they accurate in saying that the conservatives are fascists? No. So the term fascist is propaganda. If I say that liberals are communists, let's read what communism is. A political theory derived from Karl Marx, advocating class war and leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. Communism is a political and economic system that aims to create classless society where the public owns the majority of means of production, such as factories and mines. In a communist society, there is no government, private property, or currency, and wealth is shared equally among citizens or based on need. The state controls all property and wealth, and everyone shares the benefits of labor. My question is, does communism sound more like it would be something that liberals would like? We read two definitions. So we know that fascism doesn't describe conservatives or the right. But does communism describe liberals? Based on what I just said. Because the whole premise of communism is that someone's being done wrong. Someone's being taken advantage of. That's the core of it. Someone's being done wrong by some greater force. Is that the basis of what liberals think? That somebody is doing somebody wrong. That somebody has some power and they're forcing something on people. Now, this guy gave these two examples, fascism and communism, but what he didn't say was, if we look at what these two sides do, fascism on one side is propaganda, but communism on the liberal side ain't that far off. Because most liberals already agree with aspects of communism and socialism and globalism. Liberals don't really care about freedom. Liberals want to be free to be decadent, but they don't really care about actual freedom. Meaning, I got to fight for this. They don't care about that. But let's continue. And I get accused by some friends of mine of being, this is what they say. They say, I'm one-sided. I don't talk about conservatives and Donald Trump. And I always ask them, okay, what do you want me to say about them? Because my critiques on Donald Trump and conservatives, you're not going to care about. You want me to say they're racist. You see, they want me to critique them based on their biases, not based on the truth. That's why I don't do it. Because I have critiques about conservatives and Donald Trump. At the same time, those aren't you all's critiques. You all want me to say they're racist. They're not. They're not. I was talking with a guy yesterday, with some young guys. You know, they had a Trump rally. Somebody said it's the Jews. is a Trump. We had a Trump rally, and some folks I know went over there. But I went over there later because my boy wanted to go over there, but really I wasn't planning on going. But it was right behind my gym, and so I got talking to this young man, and this is why I said that propaganda is illegal, because these young men, keep in mind, they like Trump, they're voting for Trump, but at the same time, America's racist. So their issue is they want me to acknowledge that America's racist. And I told them, I said, if America was racist, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing now. You're at a Trump rally with an expensive camera interviewing people. If America's truly racist, you wouldn't be able to do this. See, what they're really saying is that America is unfair. This is what they're equating with racism, is that America is unfair. And this is the liberal mindset. This is the Satan mindset, is that if I experience something that is adverse to me, then it has to be somebody doing me wrong. It can't just be sometimes stuff just happens. Sometimes you walk outside and you get struck by lightning. Is God racist? So again, what they're equating racism with is them not being able to have their way. And again, they believe they should have their way all the time because of propaganda. Because everything is telling them, the movies only show people going through stuff from an antagonist. You look at most films, there's an antagonist. You look at most shows, there's an antagonist. Guess what? Sometimes you go outside and the bird just decides to use the bathroom on your head. Sometimes you walk outside and the bird just pick your head to take a dump on. Is the bird racist? So again, what propaganda has convinced people of is that if you go through something, there is some type of force that is making you go through it. Now, when I say it's Satan, and when I say it's your own sin, they don't want to hear that. The Bible says sin oppresses. They don't want to hear that. They want a tangible source of their adversary. Not Satan, not sin, not what I'm doing. I need something tangible. Oh, I got it, white people. Or I got it, corporations. Somebody says superstition. But my point is my point. Talking to these young men, I realized, and I told them, I said, the older you all get, the more you're going to see what me and another guy talking. It was three of us there. I said, the older you all get, the more you're going to see. I said, trust me. You're going to, because what's important to you, you're going to see what's really threatening it. And you're going to find it's not white people. Anyway, this young man was harping on racism and history and just, I mean, he wouldn't let it go. And I asked him, I said, what textbook in a public school talks negative about Black people? I said, where mass media or mass information is disseminated to society, where is it saying something negative about Black people? There's no history book in public schools circulating right now that portrays black people in a negative light. There is no movie in Hollywood that does it. There is no TV show that does it. There is nothing out there in this big machine that portrays black people in a negative light. So where are people getting this so-called negative image of black people if everywhere they turn, you're shown in a positive light? Where are they getting it from? So then he starts bringing up people that wrote this book and that book. I said, most people don't read. I said, most people are surface level thinkers and information gatherers. I said, most people aren't reading those authors. I said, so again, that's not true. Most folks aren't reading those books. So where are they getting it from? Then he finally said it's inherently passed down. So now you're just going to make something up. You're just going to indict a whole race of people because you think this racism is passed down. Again, my point was, and I told him, it is 2024. Those history books are going to do you no good. And then when I was leaving, the white guy said to him, it was me. I'm going to give you the races. It was 3 young men, black, and a young lady. And it was me, biracial guy, me, biracial, white. Now, this guy is outside of a Trump rally screaming, talking about how racist white people are. Ask me, did one white person say anything to him? He is outside of a Trump rally talking about how racist white people are inherently, and not one white person say anything to him. Do you think they would give me the same grace if I was at a Kamala Harris rally and I was saying America wasn't racist? Do you think I would get the same grace they gave him? He didn't even realize his whole point was being disproved in his rant. You're yelling about white folks being racist, surrounded by white folks, and nobody's bothering you. Not the police, not security, not the bystander, nobody. White people volunteer for your interview to give you content. So anyway, so the white guy tells him, he says, listen, he says, your subconscious is powerful. Because dude's like, I'm not a victim, I'm not a victim. He said, you may not be a victim. He said, but the way you're talking, your subconscious can't tell the difference. He said, even if you go in a situation saying you're not a victim, he says your actions are still motivated by your subconscious. He says, even when you don't want it to be affected, he said it is. He said, so that means every endeavor you take forth in life is from the standpoint that you're being oppressed by white people. When I tell you, now what the white guy said was true. It was a poignant message for the young man. He was young too. He gave him some jewels. How do you think he responded? Man, I ain't no victim. You just upset because I'm exposing y'all. You right. Like just totally, I had to walk away. But I left with, it's propaganda. Because someone like him, growing up in black culture, he doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance. You mean to tell me he has to grow up in black culture and up under propaganda is too much? It should be illegal. And he kept saying, why are black people at the bottom? I said, who has the worst culture? I said, you asking me who has the worst culture? I said, look at black culture and tell me how can anybody succeed in that culture? And I asked him, I said, why do y'all keep separating the culture from your results? If you were playing sports, The team has a culture. Guys that play for the Patriots mention the culture of the Patriots. There's a culture there. There's a culture with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a culture there. So how do you all figure that culture is separate from your results? I'll tell you why, because propaganda. Propaganda tells you that you can indulge in your culture and still be successful. Matter of fact, we're going to show you success from your culture. But culture determines everything. I said, so you can't have, and the guy was telling him, you can't have the highest number of single mothers. We're talking about the majority of Black children grow up in a broken home. The majority, close to 80%. You can't have 80% of the households being ran by single mothers and expect that group of people to be at the top of the totem pole. It's insanity. Anyway, I left upset with propaganda. I did. Let's continue. Let's finish this out.
So the goal should not be to talk in neutral ways. The goal is to have lots of different ways of living and lots of different ways of thinking, and to recognize that we're not a threat to each other, that some of us can be Orthodox Jews, and others of us can be deeply evangelical Christians, and others of us can be gay and Muslim or gay and atheist, that we can have lots of different ways of living, and they don't threaten each other. But our goal shouldn't be to sort of disassociate our words with life, because all of our words are embedded in life.
Again, it's all about who wants to be in charge. This is what people keep skipping over. You can say that the Orthodox Jews can live with the Christians and the Muslims can live with the... No, because the question is, who's going to be in charge? No, propaganda is not a neutral term. I said it wasn't neutral. Propaganda is heavily built on lies and deceit and taking stuff out of context. That's what makes it propaganda. If that wasn't done, it would just be the truth. So propaganda is not neutral. The term is not neutral. It's not. It has a very sinister intent. And it's to convince someone that what they believe is wrong, assuming that what they believe is wrong. So at the end of the day, it's all about who wants to be in charge. And people can say what they want to say. The only society that allows everybody to be is Christian society. The only society that allows folks to be is Christian societies. No other quote unquote religion ruling is going to let you do what you want to do. No other ones. So again, yeah, we can all live together, but everybody can't be in charge. As Trump says, and you know it and I know it. Everybody fears for Muslims being in charge. Everybody fears for LGBTQs being in charge. Why? Why do rational people fear certain folks being in charge? You can throw the Jews in there. You can throw anybody in there, any religion. It don't matter. What I'm telling you is the societies, the West, is the way it is because of Christian values that believe in free will and choice. Most other religions don't, and most other places don't. The only faith that allows people to be is Christianity. And you can knock it all you want, but under Christianity, y'all get to run y'all mouth and live your best life. Talk crazy about the government, talk crazy about people. Under Christianity, y'all can do what you all want to do. Matter of fact, so much to the point where y'all terrorize the folks that ain't bothering y'all. No, faith can't be mandated. It can't be. But we do know that Bible allows folks to be. And they can say what they want to say. Under that Bible, folks have been allowed to be revolutionaries. Folks have been allowed to be Muslim. Folks have been allowed to be Jewish. Folks have been allowed to be Catholic. Folks have been allowed to be atheists. Folks have been allowed to be Marxists and communists. Just think about under that Bible what folks are allowed to do. No other religion or place is doing that. The West does that, which is why everybody wants to come to America and Europe. For that very reason. For that very reason. Here goes the propaganda right here in action right now. Propaganda in action right here. Dang it.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you.
That was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show.
Look at, again, Kamala's on Fox for 5 minutes and she can't handle it. This lets you know they don't get any resistance. She's lying. This is what I mean by propaganda being illegal. She's lying. That's what propaganda is. Because if propaganda isn't lying, then it's just the truth. If propaganda isn't lying or manipulating or taking stuff out of context, then it's just the truth. That's not what it is. Every time Trump says something, I want y'all to think about this for a second. Think about every time you speak. Now, I don't care who you agree with or for, it don't matter. But just think about every time you speak, the media taking out of context what you said and lying about what you said. Think about that. Think about every time you open your mouth, the media taking something out of context or just lying. My question is for anybody listening, how would you speak? How would you speak? If the media was going to take your words and show them to the world and either have them out of context or lies, both, how would you speak? I'll tell you how you would speak. Just like Trump. You would speak very plain and simple. Because you know they're going to take what you said and they're going to lie about it. You're going to speak very plain and very simple. Go to the Bible. Listen to how Christ spoke. Speaking in parables. Speaking very matter-of-factly. You know why? Because he knows you're going to take what he says and you're going to try to use it for evil. So I'm going to speak clear and speak concise. I'm going to speak everything lining up with the word of God, which is myself. So what Trump has done over these past 8 years, we've never seen before. You can say he's working for the system. You can say it's all the same. I don't care what you say. We've never seen a person in history that every time they open their mouth, the media machine was going to take what they say and lie to the people about it. We've never seen that before. They've been doing this for 8 years. Can you imagine going through this for 8 years? Most of us would have tapped out. Think about the psychological bondage of you can't even speak. Think about it. He can't even crack a joke. Most people would crack under the pressure. Paul said almost 10, Blanche. It might be almost 10 because he started running what? 2015? Yeah.
Show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy.
Where? You know what's funny that I find funny about this? How is it they're able to when Trump says something, they always got the audio, right? But when it comes to some just off the wall out, they never have the audio. You notice that? They never have the audio of him saying, I'm gonna turn the military on the people. They had the audio for everything else except the crazy stuff. And he let her speak. I wouldn't let her speak. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. It's not true. Ma'am, it's not true.
And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
Imagine the audacity of 2020 and 2021, people actually went to jail behind, people actually got locked up. But just imagine them doing everything they're saying Trump is doing. They're actually doing it. This is why propaganda should be illegal, because most folks can't even see that they're actually doing it. She's angry, and the reason why she's angry is because they played that clip of what Trump actually said.
People.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
he was
So again, he got asked the question about what y'all are saying, and that was his answer. But guess what? She don't care. She rather tell you that she knows what he means. Imagine me saying, listen, y'all, it's a war. And we're going to have to fight. And then she comes along and says, he's talking about a war against y'all, Americans. Like, it's just, again, propaganda should be illegal.
asked about that
No,
specific...
that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people.
See, this is what you don't do as an interviewer. You never let somebody tell you what you know. Never. You never let Kamala say, you and I both know, and then she spew out a whole bunch of lies. No, you don't do that. You say, no, ma'am, I don't know. I've never heard him say that, ma'am. And I've been covering him for almost 10 years, ma'am. I never heard that. That's how you stop all of that. That's how you make her get up. You know what? I'm done. She would have left talking to me. I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I've never heard Trump say that, ever. That makes her say, interview done. That's how you stop all that. But when she says, you and I both know, and then rattle off 10 lies, you already lost. You already lost. Don't ever let somebody tell you what you know. Don't do it. Not in this manner. Not, you know it too, right? And then, no, I don't know. No, ma'am. He's trying to be gracious. He's trying to be cool, trying to seem racist. Man, forget that. Let me interview Kamala. Well, listen, Kamala, I got about 58 lies you told just this past 2 weeks. We're not even done with August. You care to address the first one? They hate me interviewing because I'll be cutting her off. I'll make her grab that microphone. I have people yelling in the back. They'd be mad at me.
He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy.
Elaborate. Give me the exact quote that Trump said when he referred to turning the military on American citizens. Give me the quote so I'm clear. I'm write it down. What's the quote, ma'am? Give me the quote so we can verify it. Give me the quote where he said he was going to lock people up, man. I need that. What was that quote again? Can I get it? It's easy to stop all this. Give it to me. What did he say? When did he say this? Easy. See, what you don't understand is you can't be nice. Nice guys finish last, but good men finish first. A nice guy and a good guy aren't the same thing. A nice guy is a people pleaser. A good guy is going to stand on principles and morals and standards and character. So no, ma'am, give me the exact quote. This sounds like hearsay. This sounds like gossip. I need some factual quotes, ma'am, so I can write this down. I'm a journalist. If you can't give me a quote, ma'am, and I can't agree to that. And why aren't you prepared, ma'am? For everything you've just accused him of, why aren't you prepared to show us? Show the people. Show us the receipts. It's easy to get rid of all of this, but guess what? They all working with each other. There's no way on God's green earth I'm going to let somebody say, you and I both know, and they say a whole bunch of lies. Me and you don't know. We don't know.
And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
They better than me. I'll be like, and then I hit her with this one. I would say, Kamala, with all due respect, you're raising your voice, you're being very demonstrative, and I'm not comfortable. I fear for my safety. I'll do that. I'll beat them at their own game. I don't feel comfortable, and I'm fearing for my safety because you seem very upset right now. I'll flip it. They'll hate me to interview them. I have them talking so nice, so calm, inside voice only. Let that woman lie like that. Or be ashamed of yourself. Letting her just lie.
Kamala Harris sent us a love letter. That, to you, that might have been a policy document. I read that as a love letter from Kamala Harris to black men who need some love, black men who need some respect, black men who need some concern and some care and consideration. You know, we need some mamala from Kamala, and we got that. We stood on business. We said we wanted to hear something. Everybody else is getting something. What are we going to get? And she came with a love letter of support for our work, our wealth.
You know what? I don't know how these people sleep at night. Like, just think about Van Jones being able to go to bed at night. Like what's giving him peace? Like, these people have to be on drugs. They have to be they have to be on something. I just don't believe you could be this spineless and get a good night's rest. I just don't. I can't see it. Well, I know he's divorced. He's divorced, but the type of woman that he's going to get is going to be a libtard, though. It's going to be a libtard. But I just don't know how he goes to sleep, though. We need some mamala. What grown man is looking for a mama from a...
Kamala Harris sent us a love letter. That, to you, that might have been a policy document. I read that as a love letter from Kamala Harris to black men who need some love, black men who need some respect, black men who need some concern and some care and consideration. You know, we
Black men don't need that. Black men need to stop making excuses. Black men need to stop being weak and stop making excuses. That's what black men need. They don't need any more head rubs and pats on the back. They ain't done nothing. Black men have not earned what he's talking about. They have not earned the love and consent, the care and the concern. Black men ain't earned that. Black men got a penance to pay. Black men don't deserve it. Black men have a debt that they owe. There's a debt to be paid for what they did in the 50s and the 60s, 70s and the 80s and the 90s until now. Black men owe a debt. I'm not finna let the black men lay on the couch and play video games all day and eat processed food. You crazy. Black men need some love. No, he don't. He needs some lashes. That's what he need. Need to put his hands to work. Need to go build something. You know, consideration. He ain't done nothing. Consider him for what? Consider him for what? Most of the time he in the way. Consider him for what? Pat on the back. Job well done. Not me. I'm saying get to work. Get to work. Yeah, when you get done building that pyramid, then you get a pat on the back. Until then, get to work.
Who need some respect, black men who need some concern and some care and consideration. You know, we need some mamala from Kamala, and we got that.
We need some mamala from Kamala, and we got that. Do you know how, do y'all realize how the black man is really viewed? This is how the black man is viewed. All that propaganda stuff on TV about being a threat, the police are afraid, and all that, that's all cap. This is what I think of black men right here. That you're weak and you're juvenile in your thinking, you're immature. One of the pillars of destruction of the black community is the arrested development of black men. That's one of the pillars of destruction. There's 4 pillars of destruction. The first pillar is black people are too emotional and too emotionally unintelligent. The second pillar is black men do not want to grow up. Black men take the longest to grow up. So once a black man is 40, he's really about 20. The third destructive pillar is that black women do not have any humility. They're not humble. Y'all know y'all ain't. And the fourth pillar is that black children don't have any identity. They don't know who they are. But the second pillar is the black man not wanting to grow up. So the fact that Van Jones is telling you all y'all need a mama says everything. See, when y'all come to this page, I'm not patting y'all on the back. I'm hitting y'all across the head with a stick. I'm hitting y'all across the back with a whip. I'm hitching you up to a plow and telling you, yah, mule, yah. Ain't no freebies over here, ain't no breaks. I'm on y'all head over here. Pause. The slogan over here is get to work. And don't stop till the pyramid is built. Man, see, y'all need a mama. Y'all grown men need a mama. It's crazy.
On business, we said we wanted to hear something. Everybody else is getting something. What are we going to get?
Everybody else is getting something, black. I want something too. The immigrants getting something. Black women getting something. Everybody getting something. I want something too. Disgusting. The black man is weak. Look how these folks are talking to y'all. Do you understand that? Look how these people are talking to you all. Nobody speaks to me like this. Nobody. Nobody speaks to me like they're speaking to y'all. Nobody. Everybody expects me to do the impossible. But black, I want some too.
And she came with a love letter of support for our work, our wealth.
Van Jones is a spineless, milk dud head, imbecile sea urchin. He's disgusting. Man, let's continue. Man, let's continue.
Name one time Trump was racist. Okay, I will. 1973, the Nixon administration sued Trump for refusing to rent to black people. 1980s, Trump's casinos were accused of hiding the black staff when Trump visited. 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad arguing for the death penalty for a group of 5 black men, that was Central Park 5, effectively putting a bounty on their heads and plaguing them with a lifetime of death threats. He was sued.
You know what's funny? Black people love having books behind them, but don't have any sense. You know why they don't? Because they don't understand context. What you're going to find present, and that might be the 5th destructive pillar, is not understanding context. What you're going to find is that black people may read something, but they sure don't understand the context. All it takes is for a person to look into these things. But he's assuming that because a white person is speaking and talking negative about Trump, then it must be true. Not realizing that it's all propaganda. I'm going to start it over.
Name one time Trump was racist. Okay, I will. 1973, the Nixon administration sued Trump for refusing to rent to black people. 1980s, Trump's casinos were accused of hiding the black staff when Trump visited. 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad arguing for the death penalty for a group of 5 black men, that was Central Park 5, effectively putting a bounty on their heads and plaguing them with a lifetime of death threats. He was sued by the Justice Department for discrimination. 1991, black guys counting my money, I hate it. The only kinds of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day. I think that the black guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is.
Remember, everything else they say about Trump is always recorded. Audio. Where's the audio? Oh, I got it. I got it.
1992, Trump's casino was fined $200,000 for transferring black dealers off certain tables to appease racist patrons. 1993, Trump said Native American casinos shouldn't be allowed because they don't look like Indians to me. 2000, Trump...
They don't. The Indians they showed us in the history books look nothing like Indians we see now. And we already know that the Indians, the Caucasians, was becoming Indians for $5. So we know, I went to school with a girl when I was in middle school, and she said she's Native American. Her name was Bambi. Looked white. But anyway, let's continue.
Ran a series of attack ads against Native American casinos alleging, with no proof, that they were guilty of crimes. 2004, Trump fired a black contestant from The Apprentice for being overeducated. 2010, Trump arguing in favor of segregating Muslims in Lower Manhattan. 2011, birtherism. Trump alleged that Obama was Kenyan based on nothing but skin color. He never apologized nor renounced the claim.
Now, what's interesting is all those are lies. And I may try to find his part 2 and do a whole show on debunking all these lies, but I'm not going to do it now. But I know they're lies. I know they lie. You know I know they're lies? Because he already told lies in there. But again, this is how most black folks get their information. They get it from secondhand or they get it from the media. They don't actually research this stuff. The guy with his hat on in the video just nodding his head. He ain't even looked up none of this stuff at all. Angel said it's 107 people on here, but 54 likes. The Shade Room is a propaganda juggernaut. Yeah, he was talking fast. He wants you to look it up. He didn't want you to look it up. Yeah, he was talking fast. But let's continue.
Are you racist?
No, but y'all is.
No, you said you hate cops. Are you racist?
I hate them, all of them.
All right, so
y'all killed my cousin for no reason.
So the reason I ask if you're racist, because the definition of racism is treating a group of people differently by the way they look or what they do. Actually, it's bigotry.
Ooh,
okay. You said you hate cops because you had a bad interaction with a cop or a small group of cops. So for you to hate a group of people by the interactions based on one person, it's irresponsible.
It is?
Yes.
You should take your own advice.
How so?
Y'all, you was just talking about respect, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all don't respect us at all. At all. Just like he was saying.
That's a bold-faced lie.
It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. Y'all judge us by just looking at us. We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do nothing at all.
And you're 100% sure of that?
I'm 100% sure.
When you're 100% sure of something, that's when you're proved wrong.
I'm not proved wrong, baby.
Yes, you are.
We go through it every day, all day.
So throughout my career,
do you all realize that if the police were harassing you all every day, you'd be in a mental institution? You wouldn't be able to function. You see, part of this propaganda is that black people are superhumans. They're able to endure this stuff. They're not. No human being is. If the police were harassing you every single day, you would either A, change your behavior, what you were doing, or you would be in a mental institution. But to be living your best life, you would not be doing. It is a proven fact that black people are not resilient. How do we know this? Because resilience is you being able to respond to an adversity with a positive reaction. So in other words, if I grow up in the inner city, it doesn't stop me from achieving higher in life, being an entrepreneur. But what happens is when black people claim to experience adversity, i.e. racism, the response to that is impoverished communities, violence, children can't read or write or do math on grade level. Black folks aren't resilient. It's a farce. And the reason why they aren't resilient is because the actual oppression isn't physical. If the oppression was actually physical, then black folks could respond to it. It's easier to respond to it if it's actually happening, but it's happening in here. They don't have a defense for this because the battle was in here. I saw like one of them guys on the street, right? Hey, young brother, the battle was in here, young brother. The war is in here. Your mind has to be the weapon, brother. Your mind. But the reason why black folks aren't resilient is because what they are fighting against is programming and propaganda. So they can't actually see it or feel it or taste it or touch it, but it's all around them because it's in here. So that means when they open their eyes, it's the lens already propagandized. The ears already propagandized. The mouth already propagandized. So that means that every day is literally a cycle. It's repeating itself over and over again of mental oppression. That means I'm going to speak words that oppress my life. I'm going to look at things that oppress my life. I'm going to listen to things that oppress my life. Think about black culture. Think about the music. Think about the visuals. Over-sexualization, over-violence, over-indulgence with the mouth and the bad foods and the profanity and the way black folks speak. I'm just saying. So imagine that every single day. So now when you see a police officer, you don't even realize this cop don't even know you. This police officer don't even know you. But in your mind, he does. And in your mind, you know him. The problem is that it's not physical. And this goes back to scripture because the Bible says that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and the rulers of darkness, wickedness in high places. This is why God is very clear in telling us that, because the war isn't physical. And black folks are thinking that what they're seeing is reality, and it's not. It's what I call a figment of not even imagination, a figment of programming, because black folks don't imagine. Black folks respond to programming and propaganda. There's no imagination in the black community. It's a response to programming and propaganda. Let me start over. Right, Pamela. If you think you can, then you can. And if you think you can't, then you can't. If you think the world, just yesterday, the guy told me that white Europeans run the world. I said, white Europeans don't run China. White Europeans don't run India. White Europeans don't run Africa. The places that have the largest population on the planet are not ran by white people. And last I checked, America even had a black president trying to get another black president. So most countries are not ran by white people. Let's continue.
Are you racist?
No, but y'all is.
No, you said you hate cops. Are you racist?
I hate them, all of them.
All right, so
y'all killed my cousin for no reason.
So the reason I ask if you're racist, because the definition of racism is treating a group of people differently by the way they look or what they do. Actually, it's bigotry.
Ooh.
Okay. You said you hate cops because you had a bad interaction with a cop or a small group of cops. So for you to hate a group of people by the interactions based on one person, it's irresponsible.
It is?
Yes.
You should take your own advice.
How so?
Y'all, you was just talking about respect, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all don't respect us at all. At all. Just like he was saying.
That's a bold-faced lie.
Nah, it's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. Y'all judge us by just looking at us. We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do nothing at all.
And you're 100% sure of that?
I'm 100% sure.
When you're 100% sure of something, that's when you're proved wrong.
I'm not proved wrong, baby.
Yes, you are.
We go through it every day, all day.
Now, do you think she want to fight him or she want to hug? Do you think she's angry at him or does she want to hug? Do you think she want to get some get back or do she wants to believe that he cares about her? This is why I said it's spiritual. What black folks are asking for is a hug. We want you all to care. Mountain Woman said she want to kiss him. That's what it seemed like. She seemed like she attracted to him. But listen, but what I'm saying is she wants a hug. I guarantee if he told her, he'd say, listen, I want to let you know that I see you. And to me, you are valuable. You are a strong black queen, and I respect you. She would have broke down. She would have broke down crying, right? She'd have melted. She'd have melted like a hot comb going through grease. Yeah, she gonna burst into tears. Listen, young lady, you a strong black queen. You beautiful. Boy, it'd have been over. Melted like ice cream in the middle of Arizona. It'd have been a wrap. Listen, a lot of them like that though. A lot of them like for a man to get physical with them and show it. They like that. That's their foreplay. Like somebody like her, that's her foreplay. She want to wrestle first and, get mad. And then that's her foreplay. I can see that. I'll tell you that right now. She like that. Like she been popped in the eyes a few times already. She want that. Trust me.
So throughout my career, you're telling me that every black person or brown person that I came in contact with, I treated them unfairly?
I don't know who you came in contact with, but most of y'all do.
But you just said all. Now you're going back to most.
I don't like none of y'all, to keep honest. I ain't met not one good cop yet.
So what would you do if a white person came up and said, I don't like any black people?
That's his opinion.
Just like yours.
Yeah.
Just like yours. Would you say that's an irresponsible statement? Because I would.
No. Everybody got their own opinion.
Until your opinions are changed.
I wouldn't change nothing against none of y'all. I don't like cops. Y'all treat us black and brown people very disrespectful, very different. Most of us getting killed every day.
Most of you?
Yeah, y'all just killed that lady for no reason.
What lady?
What was her name? Sonia. Yeah.
You're making some very dangerous generalities.
No, I ain't.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
The lady was so important, she didn't remember her name. The lady is so important and it touched you so much, you don't even know her name. Think about that. Think about your point is y'all just killed this. You don't know who she even is. This woman just said that y'all killing us every day and the homicide rate in the black community is through the roof. Imagine her wearing all kind of t-shirts with somebody dead on them. Imagine her going to funerals. Imagine all the deaths she done seen from her own people, and she comes into this room and she mad at the one police officer who she don't even know. Think about that. Think about all the deaths she's seen, all the abortions she done had. Think about it now. I'm just being honest. All the abortions she done had, all the abortions her friends and family done had, all the homicides, the deaths she done seen, all the fights and violence, everything she's seen that's bad. All the deaths she's seen caused by her own people. And when she gets in front of this police officer, she blaming him for everything. It's a cold game. It's a cold game.
Killed my cousin.
You said most.
Sex in the park.
So
he had sex with a girl in the park.
You said most.
And they assumed he had a gun by having sex in the park. How you assume somebody having a gun by having sex in the park?
I want to look this case up real quick. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. Man killed having sex in the park. Let me see. Man killed having sex in the park. Now we know that the version I pull up is not going to be the version that she's telling. We know this. You know, black people lie. They lie as a cultural byproduct. Man killed having sex in park in Los Angeles, California. Let me see, California. I think it's California. Let me see. Man killed having sex in park. Man shot by, let me see. Man shot by police having sex in the park, California. Let me see. I don't see it. I'll look for it. I'll try to find it, but I don't see it.
I don't know. Maybe he was well endowed.
Did you hear his joke? Did you hear his joke? I don't blame him though. Look at his joke.
Sonia,
You're making some very dangerous generalities.
No, I ain't.
Yes, you are.
Y'all killed my cousin.
You said most.
Sex in the park.
So
he had sex with a girl in the park.
You said most.
And they assumed he had a gun by having sex in the park. How you assume somebody having a gun by having sex in the park?
I don't know. Maybe he was well endowed. So you said most. 17%.
She thought I listened. And she wanted to laugh too. You saw that? She knew that was funny. Listen. She wanted to laugh. You saw her face. I'm going to go back to it. You saw her face. She wanted to laugh. She wanted to laugh. Oh, that's hilarious. She wanted to laugh.
What was her name? Sonia. Yeah.
You're making some very dangerous generalities.
No, I ain't.
Yes, you are.
Y'all killed my cousin.
You said most.
Sex in the park.
So he
had sex with a girl in the park.
You said most.
And they assumed he had a gun by having sex in the park. How you assume somebody having a gun by having sex in the park?
don't know, maybe he was well endowed.
She wanted to laugh. She wanted to laugh. Listen, she wanted to laugh.
So you said Mo.
She know that's funny though. She wanted to laugh. She know it's funny. She wanted to laugh. He out of control for that though. I like it though.
17% of the population, as I said before, is black. Okay? So that means out of 320 million, approximately 320 million people in the world, if you do the math, you're looking at about what? I don't know, we'll say a nice round number, 50 to 60 million black people in the country.
No, it's not. 12%. There ain't no 50. No, it's not. He ain't that large, trust me.
Okay? That's what the statistics say. Statistics aren't going to lie on that one. So most of them, that would mean over 30%. That's 25 to 30 million people are getting shot by black people or shot by cops. So your claim doesn't hold water.
Good job, Flagger.
Now, listen, if you ever want to see a black person tap out, just bring up something dealing with math, something they got to actually read and know and learn. You hear what he just said? He said, based on what you're saying, we talking about 30 million black folks being killed. It's just not happening. You know good and well. We know the numbers. It's not even close. It's not even close. I think she's in California, honestly. I think she's in California. I think she's in California. But he broke that math down and she couldn't even say nothing. But he got it with that joke, though. Police are only responsible for 0.03% of the deaths in the black community. 0.03%. Now, when it comes to homicide, we know who's responsible for homicides in the black community. It ain't the police or the KKK or the white nationalists or Donald Trump. We know who it is. He laughing because listen, and here goes the thing though, right? She's not really mad at him. What she's upset with is the programming because she knows reality and the programming don't line up. It's frustrating. I can imagine you like, man, they're telling me it's like this, but I can't see it. My woman said she'd been through it. She put herself through it. She put herself through it. I gotta save that one. I gotta save that one. I gotta save that one too. I gotta save that one too. I'm gonna do this one. How much time do I have left? Okay, I'm gonna do one more. I don't care what y'all say about white people. This woman, she saw that bear, looking at her dogs. This woman, that is a full-size California brown bear. And this woman took that bear on with her bare hands about them dogs. I don't care what y'all say about white folks. What they not going to play about is them dogs. Not them dogs. This woman done attacked a full-grown bear with cubs. She done attacked a full-grown bear with cubs. For messing with her dogs. I don't care what y'all say about white folks. Y'all don't have this kind of courage. Y'all don't have this kind of fight or flight response. Y'all don't have this kind of determination, this willpower. This lady came out the house with a little sundress on and took the bear on in sundress and sandals. Flip-flops. She didn't get a gun. She didn't get a weapon. She didn't call nobody. She ran out there and squared up with a full-grown, full-sized bear and won. Y'all ain't built like that. That's why I tell you, I leave them white folks alone. Leave them white folks alone. Leave them alone. Look, wasn't even thinking. Only thing on her mind was them dogs, them animals. So I know one thing. If we ever had a war over here and them UN troops or them listen, once them white folks see them Chinese troops eating them dogs, the war gonna end that day. You can guarantee that. If the white folks, the patriots and the Trump supporters and the rednecks, if they see them Chinese or them Haitians or whoever else, them UN troops eating them dogs, the war is gonna end that day. The war is gonna end. Y'all ain't built like this. Y'all ain't attacking no bear for no dogs. I know y'all ain't doing it. Leave the white folks alone. Leave these white folks alone. Y'all blessed to be in America. Think about how blessed y'all got people that's willing to fight bears for dogs. Can you imagine what they're gonna do for the country? You got white women. This ain't even a white man. This is a white woman. White woman, not no trans either, a real woman. White woman fighting a bear for her dogs. We in the best country in the world. We got white folks willing to die for pets. Imagine what they will do for the country. We are truly blessed. Truly blessed. Cruise Missile, thank you for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Always support me. Thank you. Vintage Goods Willie said, if America's racist, how did Kamala get to where she is? I mean, listen, America is so not racist that Kamala can be two racist. She literally Indian one day and black the next. It's crazy. But thank you, Vintage Goods Willie. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. Thank you, Angel Wings, for moderating. Thank you so much. Thank you, Goddess Navi. Thank you all so much. Y'all are godsend. Thank y'all for keeping this chat lit on YouTube and on Instagram. Listen, I love y'all. And I will see you all on Saturday. Thank y'all so much. And I love y'all. Thank you. Have a blessed evening.